What's up, everybody? Today is June 4th, 2021 at 8:24 in the morning. And I woke up today feeling pretty good, felt compelled to make a video about my book collection. So here it is. How much is my book collection worth? That's a really, really good question because over the last 4 or 5 years or so, I've bought a lot of books. I'm looking at my book collection now. I easily have 150 or so books valued at $10 each. Some books have been more money. So I'm looking at least $1,500 for my book collection. But the knowledge that I've gained, the wisdom that I've learned, and the principles that I've applied to my life that have yielded a positive result are 10 times over plus the amount of money I've put into the books that I've purchased. What's my favorite book? Very, very good question. So I have a short list of the most influential books that have made the biggest impact on my life. And it starts with The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy, Atomic Habits by James Clear, The 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma, and Becoming Supernatural by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I am a very spiritual person, but my passion of spirituality is very scientific. I'm extremely interested in epigenetics, neuroplasticity, neurogenesis, the way we're able to use our consciousness, our mind, right? The awareness that we're aware to upregulate our genes that create new proteins and to prevent anxiety and depression and to reverse some diseases that we have in our body and our mind and unlock the natural law of attraction so that we can accomplish and fulfill all our goals and dreams. Science and spirituality are not mutually exclusive. Science and spirituality go hand in hand. And kind of the mathematical equation here that defines or kind of balances spirituality and science is Einstein's law of relativity. Now, why is Einstein's law of relativity extremely important in spirituality and consciousness and neuroplasticity and the way that we're able to connect new neurons in our central nervous system and throughout our body to create a new reality? Because our consciousness, what we're aware of, what we perceive is reality. You know, what you believe is true regarding the coronavirus or financial wealth or feeling good inside your body is completely different than what I believe is the truth. But your truth is real and my truth is real. So our consciousness is really the foundation. It's the basis. It's everything that we are and everything that we choose to believe. So reverse back. Sorry I get off tangent a little bit. Einstein's law of relativity is extremely important. Why is it important? Because Einstein's law of relativity only makes sense. It's only correct if time and space exists. It's under the assumption that the universe is continuously moving in time, that a second or a minute or an hour or a year is relative to the speed of light. Okay, now we know the speed of light is extremely fast, right? And that speed of light is relative to time and space. But under the theory that time and space doesn't really exist, which would mean that our universe is constantly expanding, it's extremely vast, there's no beginning and there's no end, okay? Which to me, I believe is the truth, because can you show me the start of the universe? Do you know when Earth was created? Can you show me the end of the universe? Where is the finite universe end? We don't know, and we will never know unless we explore every crevice of the atmosphere, and that is, to this day, physically impossible. It's physically impossible. So my point here is this. The law of relativity under the the practice of science of quantum physics is only correct if time and space exist. Now you say, Zach, what do you mean only if time and space exist? Of course, time and space exists, right? Like, you know, between this computer monitor and me is 2 feet of separation, and we can quantify that 2 feet as 24 inches or an arm and a half length away. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, you know, how does time and space not exist? Well, think about this. This is my body, right? I have hair, not much of it right now, but I have hair, I have eyes, I have a nose, I have an arm, I have fingers. If you break down the cells of my skin tissue and you break them down to the smallest thing it can be, right? For example, your heart is an organ, and the organ's made of tissue, and the tissue is made of molecules, and the molecules are made of atoms. Then the atoms are made of subatomic particles, which is the smallest atom in the, I mean, it's like a freaking electron and a proton and a nucleus, like so freaking small, you can barely see it with the best microscope that exists. If you break us down to subatomic particles, we are just energy. We are not matter. We are energy. And the only reason why you feel like matter, and that when you can touch yourself and you can see yourself and you can feel yourself,
is because those subatomic particles are vibrating and they're moving at such a fast pace
that they exist physically. But it's really just energy. And we're all just living in the present moment. You can't exist in the future. You can't exist in the past, because when you're in the future, let's say 10 years from now, and when you're in the past, let's say 5 years from now, you are still in the present moment. The now and the present moment is all that really exists. Now, Zach, why do these two things, how are they relevant? How are these two things relevant? Well, they're relevant in a lot of ways, okay? Because when we try to break down who we are as humans and why we're here and what we're meant to do and what's really fucking going on in the world, okay? Because I promise you, your watch doesn't matter, your followers don't matter, Republican or Democrat, it doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that we're here, living, breathing, aware, and conscious. Why does all this matter? Because all that really exists is your consciousness. The fact that you can think, the fact that you're aware, and understanding that what you understand is only what you understand. Growing up in South Florida as a white, male, Jewish person, my family and my school and the community I grew up in has had a very, very strong influence on my thoughts, on my ideas, on my choices, on my actions, on my values, on my priorities, on who I'm going to become, on what matters to me, on what, our environment is so influential on who we are and what we perceive as the truth. But if I grew up in a third world country, let's say like Haiti, or potentially the poorest country in Africa, which I don't even know what that is. What's the poorest country in Africa? I don't know what the poorest country in Africa is, but I do know that inflation is out of control in Nigeria. So assuming that the Nigerian currency is extremely, extremely devalued, I'm going to guess that Nigeria is probably one of the poorest countries in Africa. So let's say I grew up in Nigeria. I wouldn't care about the same things I care about now. My values and my priorities and my outlook on the way the world works would be a lot different than it is today. And being conscious about that and being aware about that is extremely important. So let me get back to the point. The point is this: all that you really are is your consciousness. All that you really are is what you perceive to be real. All that you really are is what you understand and interpret from your senses, your feel, your smell, your taste, your sight. And there's one more other that I just can't remember at the time, in this very moment in the present, recording this video, because this is what I'm doing. You guys, this is what I'm passionate about. Figuring shit out. What is actually going on? Am I ever going to get the real answer? Am I ever going to know what's actually going on? Probably not. Probably not. But being aware that I'm aware and understanding that what I understand is really only what I choose to understand is humility, curiosity, it's growth, it's learning. And there's no excuse for ignorance in 2021. You can learn about anything you want. You can spend your time doing anything you want. You can watch whatever you want. But these questions not haunt me. These are the questions that I ponder every single day. You know, do aliens exist? Where does our consciousness, spirit, and soul go after we die? And this is what's giving me more reason to live freely and live fully. And back to my book collection. I have a ton of books on spirituality. I have a ton of books on quantum physics. I read a lot of books on meditation, mindfulness, and mental health, because all of these are very closely related. And that's why I'm interested about it. Yeah, that's why I'm interested about it. So if I had to value my book collection, I would value my book collection at upwards of $2,500 at least. My book collection's at least worth $2,500. And again, the value that I've received from the books that I've read and the principles that I've applied from learning from these books has been well over 100,000 times my money. Encourage you to read, encourage you to stay curious, encourage you to ask questions, encourage you to stay humble and have a lot of humility with your mindset that you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. And some people don't even know that they don't know what they don't know. And that is just naive and ignorant. And if you want to live in ignorance, that's completely fine. I'm not hating on it, but once you start to learn, once you start to get curious, once you start to realize your own humility, then the potential, your potential in the future is much, much higher. And that's really what this channel is about. That's really what I'm about. That's really what these videos are about. Personal growth and self-development and stepping into the greatest version of yourself each and every single day. Your mindset, your soul set, your heart set, your physical set. Okay? How can you feel better in your body? How can you have a better relationship with your mind? How can you vibrate at a higher frequency? And how can you materialize all your goals and dreams? It doesn't happen overnight. There is no magical playbook. There is no quick fix. Can't have a microwave mentality. Hard work, time, energy, attention, and humility is the recipe for success. My definition of success is different than your definition of success, but as long as you are becoming a better version of yourself each and every single day, you are working towards success. Thank you so much for watching. Hit subscribe, like this video, type up a comment, shoot me a DM on Instagram, and we can connect further. Have a great day, and thank you for watching. This is my book collection. This is Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. This book is all about what I just discussed. Talks a lot about neurogenesis, talks a lot about epigenetics, talks a lot about the law of attraction and meditation and how you can use your own brain to change your reality. So as you can see, I got at least, 150 books here. I mean, right here I got at least 30 or so. Maybe my math is a little wrong. I probably have like 100 or so books. But this is my most prized possession, guys. I love my books. I love my books.